What up, Bulls Nation? We've got live CHGO Bulls pregame coming up right now. Bulls back in action tonight in Brooklyn, taking on the Nets. This is the fourth and final game between these two teams this season. Nets have a 2-1 series lead, but the Bulls did get the most recent victory. Who's in, who's out tonight? Does the NBA have a tanking problem? Speaking of who's in, who's out tonight for the Bulls and Nets, taking a look at the Michael Porter Jr. effect and more. All ahead next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls pregame. Coming to you live from our CHGO Xfinity Loft here in downtown Chicago. CHGO Bulls pregame presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Thanks for being here. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Day. Bam! Bam! BAWL Sports. Will the GOAT Gottlieb. Will_Gottlieb. And our guy, rocking with us always, king of the controls, one and only Joey C. Joey, you ready for Bulls Nets?
Bulls first Nets.
Yeah. Yeah, Joey C's prepared.
I like that. There was a little bit of EA Sports in that voice.
That was actually.
It's in the game.
Bulls Nets.
I'm so
It's in the game. It is in the game. Shout out to all of y'all in the chat. Javier, what's up? What's going on? Shout out to you.
What's up, Javier?
Yeah.
What's up, Thomas? What up, Trick Daddy Dix? All right,
Daddy
everybody.
Dix.
We got ourselves a game tonight.
We got a game.
Let's dive into who will play and who will not for these two squads.
Will to go Gottlieb?
Josh Giddey and Trey Jones.
All right.
And let's put a pin in this because they were briefly upgraded from out to doubtful.
Okay.
Will not play tonight.
Oh,
they are
okay.
out.
All right.
But that could mean that they are nearing returns.
It could mean that.
That they saw that fluctuation in their designation on the injury report.
Yes, sir.
Jalen Smith was listed as questionable as he continues to deal with that lingering calf strain.
Mm-hmm.
He also has been scratched from availability tonight. And, of course, Zach Collins remains out with that lingering toe problem. So no Giddey, no Trey, no Jalen, no Zach Collins. It's okay, though, because the Bulls got a bunch of new players.
They do.
Meanwhile, in Brooklyn, Michael Porter Jr. will sit with knee tendinitis. Yeah, sure. And their rook, Egor Demin, out with rest.
He's how old?
A teenager, I think. I was thinking about
19,
this.
but I'm going to double check.
Have you ever seen a rookie
He is, in fact, 19 years old.
on an injury report listed out with rest being the reason? I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I don't know if I've ever seen it, and that's crazy.
This is silliness. Their last game was 2 days ago. He played 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 days before that, he hasn't had a back-to-back since January 29th, in which he didn't play.
Okay.
And January 30th. So he just hasn't. It's egregious tanking. I mean, that's just all it is. That's all there is to say about it. But you know what? This is a conversation that we're going to have at some point.
Yeah.
Which is look at how hard these teams are going to the bottom.
Yeah.
And are the Bulls going to be able to get themselves in the race, or are they just going to be lagging behind and happy to get the 10th or 11th pick again? I think that a lot of the damage is already done in terms of wins. The Bulls are already at 24, and the Kings, who are the worst record in the league, have half of that. But you're about to see some insane, spectacular tanking going on for these final 30 games. And the fact that it's starting before the All-Star break tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. It's one of the most loaded drafts in NBA ever history, and teams want a part of that. You were watching what the Utah Jazz did. You kind of saw that one right there.
Oh, Jaren Jackson, you're having a good game?
Yeah. How about you have
Lowry?
a seat right next to me? Lowry, why don't you join them? Come on and join us and sit down. So, yeah, man, you're gonna see those teams do that kind of thing. The Bulls kind of did it in that last game against Denver, even though Denver, just fourth quarter said, hey, we're
They
Denver.
played their guys in the fourth quarter.
You
They
know
didn't
what I
play
mean?
well,
They
but
did,
they played them.
But you knew Denver just said, we're Denver, and we're gonna take them out and get this over with. But yeah, man, I think the Bulls are gonna win this game tonight, personally, because of Denman being out, Michael Porter Jr. being out. The Bulls and how well they've actually played in these two games, especially in the first half of these two games. I think against this team, against the Brooklyn Nets, they'll be able to continue that into the second half as well. So I expect a victory, honestly, from the Bulls tonight, man. But yeah, Gold is correct. These teams have made up their mind which direction they want to go. And that direction, ladies and gentlemen, is down.
How dare you? For the Bulls tonight, noting who is not available, Anfernee Simons, Jaden Ivey, Isaac Okoro, Manos Buzelis, and Yershon Yabusele are your starting five tonight, with Smith being unavailable as well as Josh and Trey. So there's your Bulls starting five. Go.
I was going to just say for the Nets, it's Terrence Mann, Nolan Traore, Noah Clowney, Danny Wolf, and Nick Claxton. So they are playing some good players, but I'm very curious to see if Jordi Fernandez notices that there's any hamstring tightness on Nick Claxton in the fourth quarter, or if Danny Wolf's been carrying a tough load, maybe he needs a break, another 20-year-old. Yeah. I'm curious to see how this pans out.
I mean, Traore was their leading scorer off the bench the last time these teams played. You had double digits from Danny Wolf and Claxton and Demin, but none of them scored more than 14 in that 124-102 Bulls win back in mid-January. And that was the second game of a little set where they played the Nets twice in 3 nights, if y'all recall. Speaking of, let's remember who was doing the bulk of the work for the Bulls.
Let's do it.
When they beat the Nets less than a month ago, because Kobe White led the team with 24. Hot shooting night, 7 of 11 from downtown. Vooch, 17, 11, and 6. Putting in work.
Your leaders.
Ayo Dosunmu, 19 off the bench, 5 of 8 from downtown. He chipped in 5 dimes. And Kevin Huerter with a nice little 11, 5, and 6. A little mini giddy line right there. All those guys are going.
All those guys are going.
Kobe, Vooch, Ayo, Huerter.
Yeah.
You're out of there.
Yeah.
This is going to be like you said, a winnable game for the Bulls tonight.
Yeah,
I expect
incredible.
them to win this
I
game
expect
tonight,
them to win, bro.
but with very different pieces than the last time they beat the Nets.
I expect them to win big.
Yeah.
They're just not like, I mean, maybe they'll prove me wrong. I don't see them doing this thing where they're just like pulling their starters in the fourth quarter. We're starting to, just play Rob Dillingham all 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. Like, they're just not going to do that. And look, I don't know if it really even matters that much because they are at such a disadvantage with the amount of wins that they already have.
Got to try.
Right now, they're the 10th worst team in the league, and that's probably where they end up. The Bucks are 9th. They may pass them. There was a report today from Jamal Collier, a long story about whether they're going to continue to try, and it sounds like they're going to basically do whatever Giannis wants them to do, which I imagine is try. But the Blazers have not been very good with Denny Avdia out. The Clippers just traded away their 2 best players or 2 of their 3 best players in Harden and Zubats. Who else do we have here in the same category? The Hornets, I think, will stay above the Bulls. The Blazers, I mentioned, hopefully they play better for the sake of the Bulls getting their draft pick. And Atlanta, I just don't think that, like, they're going to have to out-tank a lot of teams that are already 5, 6, 7 wins worse than them. I think really the highest they can get is Milwaukee. And so it's probably okay if they don't just completely pull the rug out from underneath themselves, but it certainly would help. And maybe they can get lucky, and maybe some of these teams do turn it around a little bit, even against their will. Just because like every single percentage matters here. When you've traded away all of your core players and you are really building around a new group, and the idea is to get in the draft, you got to get in the draft. And so every single percentage point, every 10th of a percentage point matters.
It all matters, man. It all pans out. But
here we go. Let's quickly review what the Brooklyn Nets did at the trade deadline, because like the Bulls, they were a busy team that made several moves. Mostly just a team that is not in win now mode, taking on certain things to collect some assets. But so they were in that 3-team trade with Toronto and the Clippers that sent Chris Paul to Toronto. Hilarious. Brooklyn got a 2032 Raptors second rounder, a little bit of cash, and Ochai Agbaji in that 3-team trade.
Okay.
They also made a trade with the Denver Nuggets, who the Bulls just saw in town this past weekend. The Nuggets traded Hunter Tyson and a 2032 second-round pick to the Nets for the less favorable of Clippers-Hawks 2026 second-round pick. Denver did that to create an open roster spot for the buyout market as a playoff-bound team and ducked some luxury tax. Nice little bit of bookkeeping for the Nuggets.
Sure.
Brooklyn stashes another pick. They also brought in Josh Minott from the Boston Celtics, so another team like the Bulls who made a deal with the Celtics before the deadline. And then they also, after bringing in Hunter Tyson in that trade from Denver, waived him along with Cam Thomas and a few others. Cam Thomas, of course, being waived was the one that people were keeping an eye on. And now we just saw, was it yesterday that became official that he on that being waived market is joining the Milwaukee Bucks.
Joining the Milwaukee Bucks.
So, like, I don't think any of Brooklyn's deadline moves necessarily impacted what this team is doing this season, other than Cam Thomas was occasionally being Cam Thomas for them this season.
Yeah, they know who they are, and they're pretty sure about who they are, and they want to be that young team. Obviously, they want those losses to kind of pile up, but they're a young team that's building and a young team that's growing. So anything that happens as far as that young team, as far as that growth is concerned, they're for it. They just don't want it to come with wins all the time. But Egor Demin, they're for that. You know, Michael Porter Jr., yeah, they're for that. Danny Wolf, I mean, they're for that. But they understand their goal. And it's interesting because that's kind of been the Brooklyn Nets' goal for some years, if we're being for real about it. They've always been a team that wanted to be drafting a little bit higher. We'll see how it works out for them this year. But they have stockpiled, you know, some decent talent. I think Egor Demin has been better than advertised, personally. Like, he's been, and especially in that fourth quarter, I watched him hit some cold-blooded shots to keep them in the game and to win some games for them as well.
His numbers are trending up, too. I took a look at his numbers compared to when we saw them a month ago.
Yeah, he's been good.
He's playing well.
He's been good, man.
A really good shooter. Like, the reason I didn't like him in the draft was
the shooting.
I knew he was not going to be able to really get into the paint, which I still think is a real weakness of his, but it was the combination of that and not being able to shoot.
Yeah.
He's shooting 40% on threes this year.
Impressive.
And he's taken a bunch of them. He's at 6.4 per game, and he's playing 25 minutes a game. So he's taken a high volume of threes. He still doesn't get to the rim, and obviously it's not going to matter tonight because he's not playing. But I like him. He's a nice little pickup. You got Danny Wolf, who's playing really well. Drake Powell hasn't played a ton, but he's like a good role player, projects to be. MPJ, like, I was a little surprised maybe they didn't trade him. I feel like they got maybe a little precious with that. They could have gotten some good picks there, but they owe their pick next year. So they are, I think, going to try to accelerate things a little bit with Claxton, with MPJ, and with whoever they get in this draft, plus their 5 rookies that they got in last draft. And then it's just a matter of, can you start to build forward? The outgoing pick is a sunk cost, but can you start to build with that young group and that young core? And can that be your team, or are you still missing? So that's really the question for them. But they've certainly got talent. And I think that's really what it's all about here. And it's also just kind of interesting to think about maybe how the East will look next year with teams like the Wizards going all in on Trae Young and Anthony Davis. And they're probably going to be playing a lot more next year with Brooklyn not having their draft pick, with Indiana picking up Zubats and getting Halliburton back, with Tatum coming back for the Celtics. Like, the East is going to be good and deep next year, and I wonder where the Bulls are going to factor in.
That's wild to say that about the East.
Yeah.
Like, good and deep at the same time. It's not something we've heard about them. So that should be interesting to watch. But it just really makes you wonder where, like you said, where the Bulls will be in a good, deep Eastern Conference. Should be interesting, man.
No comment. Shout out to Leonardo in the chat who said, hugs from Brazil. Hugs right back to you.
Hugs right back
Shout out
to
to everybody
you.
hanging out in the chat. Hit the like button if you
How
haven't
about
done it yet.
thumbs right back to us?
Let me
Like
get some
160 of y'all up in here, baby. Hit me with the thumbs.
Pointing to the acquisition of a couple of seconds at the deadline, did the Brooklyn Nets. J. Phil 21 in the chat asked, oh yeah, did they get as many second-round picks as the Bulls? They did not. Bulls got more.
Very few do.
J. Phil also said, everybody knows the NBA is actually going to do
say.
Mario Party rules this year, and second-round picks are the stars, baby. I love that. Way to spin that into a positive.
Flip it up. Flip it up. Yes.
So let's talk about Michael Porter Jr., who will not play tonight, as like the quintessential tanking weapon.
Okay.
One of them, I think, in the league.
Okay.
You take a look at what the Nets are with and without MPJ and what he does in their wins compared to their losses. They are 13-28 when MPJ plays, which is not a good record. And then you realize that they are 1-9 when he doesn't.
That's worse.
That's worse. In their wins,
Math guy.
he's scoring over 28 a game on shooting splits at 53 from the field and 44.5 from downtown. In their losses, that drops to 23.5 a game on much worse shooting splits.
Oh, man.
As MPJ goes, so go the Nets.
Wow.
Even when he's playing well versus playing not well and then not playing at all, it is a scale towards utter crap. So, again, why I think a lot of us are seeing a Bulls W tonight. Because this team, without MPJ on it and playing out there and shooting and hitting his shots, is a bad team.
It's a bad basketball squad, man. And he makes things simple, makes things easy. I mean, it's a good safety valve to have with a guy with that kind of talent. And it's always something to be said with having a star on your team. And make no mistake about it, I really think that he is on his way to being a star. He's in a great position to do that with the team that he's on, man. That dude is a bucket, as you saw by the numbers that he can put forth for this squad. So it's about building those things around him, or if they want to, as Goat said, like if they want to kind of keep him and build around him. And it seems like they do, since they, didn't make this deal for him at the deadline. We'll see what happens in the, off season with things like that. But in general, that young man is very serious, when it comes to getting those buckets. He's definitely done it to the Bulls. We watched it with our own two eyes, watched it happen for sure with him and how he kind of balls out. So, yeah, I'm a little upset I won't get a chance to watch him. I like watching him play, but I understand also, wink, what the Nets are doing.
Yeah, so, I'm curious what you guys think about that because, and, we might talk about this a little bit on a show later this week, heading into the All-Star weekend, but, there's been a lot of talk about tanking. There's been a lot written about tanking in the last couple of weeks, or not a couple of weeks, but a couple of days, when a lot of teams made moves at the trade deadline that either implied that they're heading towards a tank or a soft tank, or reconfirmed that that's already where they are.
Okay.
And Adam Silver, I think, addressed this earlier this season, or maybe before the season started, right, Goat? The situation of how to try to do away with this. And Bulls fans being stuck in it's never fun to root for L's. But until things change with how the lottery system works right now, percentages, ping pong balls, look at how many teams across the league are gearing up for the tank of a lifetime over the last 30 games. And the Bulls are a team that's not best suited to try to join that race right now. And you see teams like, MPJ sitting tonight with tendinitis, quote unquote, a rookie getting rest, quote unquote. What happened with Lowry and Jaren Jackson Jr. in the Jazz the other night? There's, Goat, I believe the word you used is egregious. There's some egregious tanking going on, and that's not anything fun for fans to watch.
No.
It's not fun for fans to root for.
No, it is not.
But it's until the system changes, this is the way to do it, which stinks. Just flat out stinks.
Yeah, trying to legislate tanking out of a game where there are inherently winners and losers, and those are the benefits of losing. I mean, it's just... you have to change the incentives. You can't just punish tanking out of the game. It doesn't work that way. In a league where stars really matter, the best way to get a star is through the draft. The best way to get a cheap star that you can have on cost control and team control for long term is through the draft. So that's just always going to exist. And I think if you wanted to really change that, you'd have to really change some things about the league and about the game of basketball and how it's played to reduce the power of stars so that teams stop doing that. I think that just is how it is, and I think that the league should be thinking more about other ways to incentivize being good than de-incentivize being bad or disincentivize being bad.
I just thought of, two theories. I heard the one rumor of they were discussing that the standings or that the lottery would be decided earlier in the season, as in March 3rd.
Yeah, there were Shams came out a month or two ago with some things that they were considering. One of them was locking lottery odds on March 1st.
Yes, please.
It's February 9th.
Get that
these teams are already tanking. I don't really think that's going to solve much. It's just going to push teams to start tanking sooner, and we're seeing that happen already before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
One of them was not letting teams draft in the top 4 2 years in a row. I think that's ridiculous. That doesn't the point of the draft and the lottery is to help the bad teams who really need talent get that talent.
That's fair.
And if you're saying you drafted number 1 in the draft this year, but you took Anthony Bennett. Sorry, you can't go again next year and get Anthony Davis. That doesn't help these bad teams. It just reinforces their inability to get out of the bottom. I'm forgetting the other one.
To be fair, what are you
But
doing?
it's just like these. The pick protections. I actually think this could be useful of not allowing teams to do top 8 protected picks or top 10, but only lottery or top 4. That would prevent some of the late season tanking. That's really like what the Jazz and the Wizards are doing right now.
Or last season, the Sixers, which was what, top 6
top
protected?
Sixers. That's right.
I mean, yikes.
Of basically just pulling guys
Crazy
so that they can try to, because it's just, but that's like, it benefits the team to do that. It benefits the team despite the optics and despite the fan base and despite it being uncomfortable for a lot of owners. It benefits the team. And when you look back at the Mavericks, for example, who are the team that really got punished for tanking a game against the Bulls actually a couple of years ago.
They did.
Well, guess what? They got Derek Lively out of it, and then they made the finals. So I don't think that the $100,000 fine that they got really did much to change their opinion. So I think a lot would need to change, and I actually don't think that's the real problem. The real problem is how do you help these bad teams stop being bad, and instead of how do you help these teams where maybe Halliburton gets injured and now it just makes sense to tank for a year. Mm-hmm. That's not really, I think, in the spirit of what the draft should be about, which is helping the bad teams get more talent.
Sure. Joey, see, you had something?
Maybe we'll take it. I have an idea for the lottery, but this is a pregame show. Maybe we'll take it into the game. And if you guys like it, we'll bring it into the postgame, but I think I have an idea.
Yeah, I mean, finding a system that doesn't reward teams for being bad and even being bad on purpose is something that should change in an ideal world for how this league works. I don't know where they're finding that. Maybe people have suggested like teams that go to the play-in tournament teams. You're not quite there, but you didn't try to lose, so we'll reward you with either higher lottery odds or just higher lottery position or higher draft positioning.
Seriously,
as opposed to the teams that are trying to be bad and at the very bottom of the standings, then we will punish. The other thing to me that I am always jealous of is just relegation. Like the NBA, I don't think will ever get there as a league compared to soccer overseas.
Okay,
I think it's a great system. Like if you're not serious about winning and you continue to prove that over and over and over again, get out of the league, man. Like seriously, get out of the league.
We want winners.
Shifting focus back to tonight's game, gentlemen. Again, you see some of the newcomers in tonight's starting lineup yet again. You got Simons in there. You got Anfernee in there. You got Yabusele in there. Who tonight are you looking for specifically? Personally, I wouldn't mind seeing a bounce back, if you want to call it that, performance from Jaden Ivey after he had a pretty tough Saturday.
Yeah.
What about you, Dave?
I mean, from henceforth, it is going to always be Dillingham who I'm looking at.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to start. And then it's everybody else after that. For me. At least for me, that's how it is. And hit the like button, too. It's like 190 of y'all in here, 47 likes. Thank y'all for being here. Hit the like button. Thank you very much. We appreciate y'all being here. I do want to see Jaden Ivey have that game, as you just said. I would like to see a bounce-back game for him because he deserves to have a nice bounce-back game after what we just witnessed him do in this last one. So I don't think he's as bad as he's played. I think he's a little better than that, and I would like to see that happen tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. I think he'll get that opportunity too as well. I always like watching Anfernee Simons. That's just a selfish thing. Just watching him shoot the basketball and cook people is always fun to see. But, again, it starts and ends with Dillingham for me. And Modest Uzelis, talked about on the last show, man.
Yep.
The takeover that needs to be occurring
20 shots
during these times when nobody else is out there. It needs to be Modest Uzelis taking those things over. 20 shots, 6+ free throws. I want to see all of that. So I want to see him, again, imposing his will on these teams out here, especially against the Brooklyn Nets.
It's hard to agree more than how much I agree with what you just said. I can't possibly do it.
Thank you, sir.
No, you're absolutely right. Ivy, Dillingham, and Modest, those are the guys that I think have a chance to be around longer term. And I don't know that really anybody else who is playing tonight. I mean, Giddey, Trey, Jalen Smith all out. I don't think Yabusele or Nick Richards are long-term pieces. Maybe Okoro. Can you start to see a little bit more offensive development from him? I thought he actually had a really nice game against the Nuggets.
He played well Saturday.
Nice screening and just diving and stuff like that. But
no, it's true.
Give Modest the ball and let him cook. Bro. Give Ivy the ball. Give Dillingham the ball and just see what they can do. I mean, these games. That's what these games are supposed to be about. And I think there's sort of this trade-off that the Bulls have operated with over the last couple of years. And I wrote about this today just with regards to Rob Dillingham and his comments from postgame the other night of Billy being really hard on Modest on mistakes and pulling him for a defensive lapse. And Dillingham basically said, like, we're allowed to make mistakes here. And that was the first time that really anybody, the first time that anybody in the Bulls organization had spoken like that. And Dillingham played.
He's new here.
I think it was like the 4th most minutes of his entire career last game.
Oh, wow.
So like he got to rock out a little
Jeez.
bit, and that's a good thing. I think the same should be true for Modest. I think the same should be true for Ivy. Let's see what those guys have. And this is like, obviously the Bulls are going where they're going, but in order to really see if these guys can be part of their future, you do have to get a sense of what they can be. Yeah. And so it's not just like it'll help them lose. It'll, it's like, do you want to pay these guys to be around? You have to know what you're getting yourself into.
Got to.
With that, Blue Jay 1598 in the chat saying, Anfernee Simons channels prime Dame Lillard and cooks the Nets.
Oh, my goodness.
What a great segue into our pregame picks for the night.
Picks, pregame picks.
Pregame Picks brought to you by our friends at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app with code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment is never ordinary at Bet365.
Pregame pick 1.
I just went with a nice, calm Simons to get 20-plus points. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's going to be automatic tonight. I'll be shocked if he doesn't. Yeah. With the amount of shots that this dude's gotten up in his first 2 Bulls games.
Correct.
That's plus money for him to have 20. Yeah. But as Blue Jay in the chat just said, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if Simons puts up 35 or 40 tonight.
I wouldn't either.
Like, honestly.
No,
I would prefer if Modest did that. But Simons going to get that rock, and Simons going to shoot.
Simons going to do that. That's how he wrote.
Speaking of which, to that end, again, I like the Bulls in this game. I like the Bulls to win this game and probably even do so comfortably because the Nets are out tanking them. Bulls
Nets are on a 1-game winning streak, my friend. So.
Hey-oh. And look, y'all may have noticed, like, I almost never do spreads in my pregame picks because I tend to prefer betting live lines, like at halftime.
Okay.
Like if the Bulls are getting worked and I'm like, they're going to pull a Bulls cardiac comeback out of there.
Cardiac.
So I'll bet that live line. Or if the Bulls are ahead against the real team, I'm like, well, this ain't going to last, and I'll bet that live line at half. I am so confident that the Bulls are going to win this game because they know it'll make me cranky. That I'm taking Bulls minus 4.5. The line, I think when I checked earlier today was Bulls minus 4. I just pushed it by a half a point to get you to plus money there. I feel good by the Bulls winning this game by 5+ points.
All right.
And if I'm wrong about that, the only way I'll be upset is if they win, but by fewer than 4 points. Or fewer than 5 points. That is disaster zone.
Yes.
I'm
Danny Wolf, meanwhile, I like to have 15+ tonight. That's also at plus 140 odds. Somebody's got to score.
Hungry like
for
the
Brooklyn
Wolf.
Nets, and he's had a couple of decent games against the Bulls.
Mr. Wolf.
In the last couple. And that dude's not afraid to shoot. So those are my pregame picks.
Shout out to it.
I would love it if the Simons one goes bust, but only because Modest has himself a night where he goes
That's
off.
True. Jeremy, I believe his career high is 31. Modest Uzelis. He was asking what Modest Uzelis' career high. I believe it's 31 out there. Yeah. Well, thank you, Ryan. Yes. Ryan was agreed. Yes.
It's actually 31, actually.
31. It is
Shout
31.
out to our guy.
Is it 31?
I
31?
think 31.
Oh, okay. 30.
I
So,
think. I
okay,
don't know if
it's
you heard.
31.
You got rebounds off the top?
31?
14.
Oh.
Well,
just wanted to
clearly we're not
flex.
talking about Pat anymore.
Just catching strays.
How many minutes for Pat tonight? 30?
Minutes,
no,
you said?
18.
How many minutes for
Minutes?
Pat?
How many did he play last game?
Too
Like-
many?
Like 18, 19, I think.
He closed like garbage time last game.
He sure did.
Oh, I forgot about the garbage.
He
time.
played
You're
20
right.
last
He's
game.
got to earn that paycheck, man.
That's 20 plus. I forgot
You've
about
been out
the
there
garbage
and
time.
you play garbage time, mop up minutes duty. You got to.
Oh,
Pat last, this
20
past Saturday
minutes.
played
20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll get along that again
8-2. Yeah.
tonight.
I would just I mean, why not more than that? Like,
Yeah.
just let the kids run around. That's what this is about.
Run around. Speaking of running around, Trick Daddy Dex in the chat saying looking forward to seeing Dillingham and Modest play together. Heck
Yes.
yeah, let's go.
Yes. I
Lob it up, Rob.
I didn't click that in my brain till you just said that. Yes, I want more of that combo out there on the floor. It is great when you have got a pass first kind of point guard out there playing with a guy with that kind of athleticism, man. It can lead to some really fun stuff. keep on, baby. Fun, bad, embrace it.
Keep on keeping
Hug
on.
it. Buy it a gift.
Yeah.
It deserves it.
Meanwhile, Reels Freak in the chat saying that they think Danny Wolf's going to struggle tonight because he cooked only because Vooch was there.
Oh, so wait.
Hey, man.
Why you do that to me, man?
It's okay. Bulls
Why you do that?
The Bulls have fixed their interior defense problem, Dave. Clearly. We got to get out of here. It's almost tip-off time. Thanks for hanging out with us at Pregame Bulls Nation. Appreciate you for being here. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't done it yet, and we will talk to y'all in a few hours.
Yeah.
For live CHGO Bulls postgame.
Yeah.
Shout out. Talk to you soon. Enjoy the hoops.
Love y'all. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.